is episode 97 of the Arts Academy podcast with Victor Varnado and Roxxy Haze. How to master the art of the pitch meeting.
The next episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Arts Academy podcast. I am Dean Victor Varnado. This is Headmistress Roxxy Haze.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, that is you. All right. So we're going to talk about the art of the pitch meeting, what a pitch meeting is, and how to kick it in the booty. Yep, kick those pitch meetings in the booty. All right. So first of all, why don't we talk about just generally like fill people in on what we're talking about, like what a pitch meeting is all about.
Okay.
Yes. I'm going to drink some water while you start.
Oh, me do. Okay. Me do? Why did I? All right, everybody. So what a pitch meeting is a meeting generally with a network, or it could be with just a human, where you're giving them your idea for whatever the project is. You're pitching the project. Listen.
Yeah, I would say that.
I lost my notes.
Me do. What is going on?
I lost my notes. I feel like that was good though.
Well, I would say that a pitch meeting is usually, the way I think about a pitch meeting is you are trying to get someone to give you money for your idea often. Or, I mean, if we're talking business, of course, a pitch meeting can be like, we're pitching for this contract, schooly boopy doo. But it can also be, but for the entertainment world, often it's like the type of pitch meeting I encounter the most is usually me pitching to someone else an idea for like some sort of show or project that's, some sort of entertainment project. Like that's what I do a lot. Yes. But pitch meetings can also be informal, because when you network with people correctly, you could also do informal pitch meetings, and we'll talk about that as well. But there are pitch meetings where people like set you up. They're like, hey, come to this place at this time, have your materials prepared, and pitch to us. Okay, that happens a lot.
It does.
And this is what you should do when you when that happens. Okay, so first of all, I would say know who you're pitching to. Okay, if you are going to a pitch meeting at, say, let's just say you're going to a pitch meeting at Comedy Central. I would look at what Comedy Central is putting out recently if you're pitching a TV show to Comedy Central, but this applies to anything. If you're pitching a live comedy tour to a distributor, anything, like whoever you're pitching to, look them up and know what they're doing. Okay. And so if it's a TV show, you want to look at the type of stuff that they're releasing, read articles about them, see if you can find out if they have like issued any mandates for the type of shows they like. Look up people on look up people who work on shows on that network, and look them up on LinkedIn and see if you have any connection to them. If you really want that information, you can greatly this is going to sound a little diabolical, but I'm going to tell you anyway. You can greatly increase your chances of having a good pitch meeting if you really know what's going on inside the head of that person whom you're pitching to, because usually they'll be working at the company, and then someone will say something like, at one point, if we don't get a show on the air right now about robots, this whole thing is over. Because like maybe not exactly that happened, but usually something like that happens. Either they have a mandate for diversity, or they have a mandate that they only want 30-minute comedies. Like who knows? Like there are tons of things that are handed down at networks, and they change every couple of months I believe. In fact, I actually have a one of some of my representation. Sometimes they will let me like see the actual lists that companies send out, where they're like, they want this, like, and that's what it is right now. So if you don't have access to something like that, then I would say the next best thing you can do is just read and just read and just research who you're pitching to. Just get as much information as you can before you do the pitch. You'll do so much better in the pitch. All right. Then I would say, when you're in the pitch meeting, you should have good materials. Now, when I say good materials, I think you should have a great pitch deck. And if you've got video, I don't care what kind of pitch meeting you're going to, like who you're pitching with, if you can add video on top of whatever it is, you definitely have a higher chance of people doing whatever it is you want to do or saying yes. It's just the way it is now, just because everyone is so visual and everyone is watching videos all the time. If you have a video that demonstrates whatever it is, it really, really helps. And I would challenge you to come up with a pitch meeting situation that would not be made better with a video.
Can't think of one. Yeah, videos are definitely.
I mean, it's the way it is, and that's not to say that I have videos with everything I pitch. I do not, but I do know that if the ticket price is high enough, I will have a video.
Like, I'm gonna make a video.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I pitch TV shows, I have a video because that could be millions of dollars. And so when I pitch a TV show, often it has a video, until I get to the point where I'm so successful that I don't even have to pitch a TV show with videos. With I can just write it on a napkin and be like, this is my idea.
Like, yes, hopefully. Do it.
If you want to know more about making a pitch deck in general, you can go to the episode How to Write a Pitch Deck that we actually have. So just look back in there. In fact, it's probably one of the most viewed episodes, viewed or listened to episodes of our show, How to Write a Pitch Deck. So you could totally just go back and jam on that episode. Yes. Jam on it.
Jam on it.
Okay, so people have wondered whether or not pitch meetings are nerve-wracking, and your first couple definitely are. Have you? How are you at pitch meetings right now? Like, do you get nervous at all, or no?
Yeah, very, extremely, very. I will say, the informal pitch meetings are way better because they're usually like over dinner, they're over, drinks or something like that.
Yeah,
it's just like a conversation. But whenever I've only had a few, but I get very, very, very nervous, and then sometimes even throughout I'll get nervous. But it kind of goes away because I overly prepare for stuff like that. So I already thought about, which I know we're going to get into, but like if you already go in there anticipating questions and stuff like that, it kind of eases the nerves.
You mean if you go in there anticipating questions?
Yeah, like if you kind of already like make a list of questions that you think they're going to ask, and you have your pitch deck ready, the more confident you are going in, you're a little less nervous once you start talking because you can answer their questions.
I agree. That is a good thing. If you are going to a pitch meeting, know your material backwards and forwards.
All the way.
Yeah, you should just know it. You should just know it very, very well. And preparing for those questions is a good thing. But for me, I don't get as anxious at pitch meetings anymore. When I started out, I definitely was freaking out at every pitch meeting. And then now I do that thing where I forget what book this comes from, but this is just like a way for people to get over their anxiety about things like that, is just act like it's your job and someone is telling you to, like for instance, if I were Warner Brothers and you worked for me at Warner Brothers and I told you to go to a pitch meeting, you wouldn't be nervous because it would be your job. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when you do that, when you think about, well, this is my job, I have to do this, so it's my job, and so
Mm-hmm.
that calms me down, and that has been like since I started thinking like that, it has calmed me down in pitch meetings and calmed me down on a lot of things. I just start thinking, well, it's my job, so
Yeah.
I'm not I don't have anxiety about doing my job,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just do it. I don't know if that works for anybody else.
I mean, that's cool because it kind of takes away it almost creates like a disconnect, which sometimes you need when you're explaining your ideas. I think
Yeah.
sometimes we get, as artists, we'll be like, this is my life's work and this is my passion. So we get very passionate about it. And when we're talking to people and they're not seeming like they're sharing our same interests, it can kind of get discouraging. And I know that's kind of when I get anxious and stuff, like when I feel like I'm explaining something and I worked hard on it and people aren't really understanding what I'm saying, I get kind of anxious. But I do think that is a good idea. It's like, well, this is my job. And when it's your job, you care, but you don't care as much as you do if it's your thing. So I think that disconnect does help. Or take it as personal, I should say, not care, but you don't take it as personally.
Yeah, I think that it's just like, I mean, it is literally your job. If you're doing a pitch meeting and the result of the pitch meeting could pay you, it is your job.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally your job. So just be less nervous when you treat it like that. Like it's just your job.
Mm-hmm.
So do your job.
Do your job.
The handling questions at a pitch meeting, you talked about this a little bit already, and that is you have to be ready to answer those questions. You should try and anticipate any question that you have. But if there's a question that you don't know the answer to, what do you do, Roxy?
Okay, I don't know if this is the right thing to do. If it's something like I absolutely have no idea about, I'll say, I'm not sure, but I can look into that and figure it out, and I'll get back to you. I'll send you an email or something like that.
That is 100% correct.
Is it?
That's what I would say was, yeah,
okay,
that's
cool.
exactly what I do. Well, I mean, I'm saying it's 100% correct, but I don't know if, I mean,
yeah. Or I'll
this
lie.
is what I think is correct. Or you lie.
It depends on what it is. Well, I mean, it depends on what it is. Like, so, one of the meetings I had, they had asked me a question, and I had not even considered that question ever. Like when I was writing it, when I was doing anything, it was something about like if you could compare it to. They were asking specifically about the pacing of the show.
Right.
What pacing would I consider it with? And I was like, I haven't thought about the pacing. I haven't even gotten that far yet. But I was just like, yeah, I've been watching Scrubs, so I would consider, and I just started talking. And they were like, "Oh, that's great. We love that." So it wasn't necessarily a lie.
No, that doesn't sound like a lie. That just sounds like you considered it and came up with an answer. That doesn't sound like a lie.
But it's not like Scrubs though, a little bit. But I don't know, but it's about to be.
Why do you think considering something and coming up with an answer is a lie?
Because I know it wasn't like Scrubs. I kind of just said that.
But you mean the pacing wouldn't be like that of Scrubs?
No, now it's gonna be. Now that I said that, I'm gonna actually write it more to the pacing of Scrubs. But
I'm sorry, you're right. It was a lie.
No, I mean it wasn't a lie. It was always supposed to be like that Scrubs pacing. But I do think the first answer is better. Because I also think, sometimes they don't think you're going to answer all the questions. They know some stuff you might just not know. And I think being honest in situations like that is better. And the follow-up, because it also shows like you do the work, which is research if you need to.
Yeah, and that is 100% true. I got to say, in the past, I was so scared at a bunch of meetings. Like I was terrified. Yeah. And we talked about this where I had to convince myself to not be terrified at meetings. But I was terrified, and one time like I totally got caught like lying to get off of work or something like that. and I got caught lying to get off of work, and I'm just like, it would be so much easier if I just never did that ever again. Like that would make a much better life.
Yeah.
And so So I stopped.
And it's less stressful. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
lying makes me, I don't feel, and then I'll forget the lie and all of that stuff. So it's like, I'm not even, liars lose money too. Like when you act like you know how to do stuff and you don't, like companies don't like that. So it's like, let's not even start this with me lying, except for that one time about scrubs, but that's not the point. It is scrubs now.
Well, okay. So, and then after a pitch meeting, then if you don't hear from them, then you definitely need to follow up. Usually I follow up right after a pitch meeting. Do you as well? Just like with an email?
Yeah, just like a hey, that was nice meeting you all. I look forward to speaking with you.
Absolutely. And then I often, for me, I will also write something personal because I want to start the friendship as fast as possible.
Hey, buddy, you want to get some food later?
Well, I mean, that's how I do business. I'm friendly with everybody I do business with, just because, like, I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to do business with people that I'm not friendly with. Like, I
Yeah.
don't. And so, if I can't be friendly with people, and some people do not want to be friendly, and I get it. Um, and those people, I don't harangue them and be like, no, we gotta hang out, buddy. But yeah, but I get that, but I just like I like to enjoy the people I work with if possible.
Mhm.
Anyway, so yeah, so then for generally I usually send an email right after a meeting, and then after I would say like 2 or 3 days, if I think that I should have had a response in 2 days, then I will probably send them a reminder in 4 days.
Mhm.
And then if people don't respond, and usually it's like a gentle reminder, just like, hey, what I would love to hear your thoughts on this, or when will you have a chance to take a look at that? Um, and then if they do not respond after that, I would usually send them something again in like 6 days if it's an email. And then if they don't respond to that, I usually wait a week, and then I send an email that's like, a hey, seems like you're not responding. Because at that point, I'm just like you're not responding for some reason. Please tell me, what the reason is, and if you don't respond to this, I'll just assume you're not interested. That's basically what I write. Just because I'm like I don't know. I just want to cut through the BS part of business, because
Mhm.
like I do like people, and I'd rather everybody knows what business is. Okay, so you're there to do business. Let's do the business part and also have fun, is what I'd rather do. And so I don't try to I don't try to pretend like I'm not doing business with people. I will ask
Gotcha.
them direct questions.
Mm.
And
What's a good question to ask? Okay, so let's say you have a pitch meeting and they're like, "Hey, we love this thing that you told us about. We're going to follow up." And then they keep saying, "Oh, we're going to follow," like they're responding, but then you haven't had, I guess, whatever the next meeting is you're supposed to have. How do you usually send that email?
I will send an email. I will be as straightforward as, hey, when can I expect to hear from you, or when will we do our next meeting? And
Okay.
then maybe suggest a date.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's business. It's not it's their job. They're like everybody's doing their job, so just be straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, just be straightforward.
I'm about to send that right now. So thanks.
Yeah. And yeah, it's not a problem to be straightforward. And I think that always like get the business out of the way, and the best way to get business out of the way is to be straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and then just always be polite, and check your spelling.
Oh yeah, that spelling gets me sometimes. I used to try to write emails as fast as I could. I don't know why. I was just always in competition with myself. Like, how fast can you finish all this work? But yeah, typos just make you look unprofessional.
They absolutely do. Um by the way, I would say I'm starting to think that networking, the question that I had for networking, is the one that I've been using. I think it's good. I like it. I like it a
Yeah.
lot, just because it has at every networking event and at every networking meeting, it has like gotten us comfortable, because everybody's there to network, but nobody wants to say that they're to network, which is really funny, but it's just the way it is. You don't want to be just blatantly like, I'm networking.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But it just rinses all that away. I like it. So use that liberally, everybody. All right. So that is the end of the Arts Academy podcast episode about pitch meetings. And I did reference our networking episode. So if you want to listen to that full episode, then go back and listen to it. Also, we did reference the how to make a TV pitch deck episode. So go listen to that episode if you want to as well.
I will put the links in the description so you guys can access them easier.
That's right. Everybody, that was Headmistress Roxxy Haze.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am Dean Victor Varnado. Thank you for checking out the Arts Academy podcast, and I will see you later.
Make sure to visit us at artsacademypodcast.com.